Hey, so Rev Sauce Night, make sure to do the things on YouTube. Make sure to do the things on all my other video platforms like Rumble, BitChute, Dailymotion, and my Facebook like page. Anyway, so I'm putting this video up for you guys. Review of Double or Nothing 2025 AEW. Let's talk about it because there's a lot to take away. First and foremost, this pay-per-view was a little long and drawn out. Like the ending of Double or Nothing, the finishing between Will Ospreay and Hangman Adam Page was a little bit long in the tubes, to be honest with you. It was a little long. Like they were finishing each other, then another finishing move, then copying somebody else's finish move because they ran out of moves to do. It just felt like they were trying to top Battlegrounds 2025 ending where Trick Williams got the TNA championship. They were kind of like just topping move to move. They already technically had match of the year candidate already. Technically they had it because usually these kind of matches between two brutes usually get match of the year candidate. And there's a lot of them this year, but this would go down as one of them. They didn't need to do the whole over the top. Like that's the problem with AEW. They go a little bit over the top. They pretty much had match of the night, technically, between the two pay-per-views. They didn't need to go any further. But instead, what do? They keep going with it. That's the thing. And it was long and drawn out. Like, the crowd was already into it. They didn't need any more. They could have gone home happy. But instead, you did the overkill. And sometimes AEW does that where they feel like they have to do overkill to make people go, oh my God, match of the candidate, 5-star, 5-star. They try to go after 5-star matches instead of just leaving it good. If you were going to have Adam Page win, Hangman, just have him win. You didn't need to do finisher after finisher after finisher after finisher after finisher after finisher. The table exploded. They kind of botched a table spot. In that, Will Ospreay looked like he was seriously concussed. And then the throwing onto the LED board was wild. And then they did a burning hammer mixed into kind of a 450 bomb, copying Swerve Strickland's move. And then there was another move that they copied from Swerve. And then a V-trigger was done. Then a few Dead Eyes were done. Then I think there was like a pile driver, an attempt. And then there was like a clothesline done, a buckshot lariat, which I still agree with Pat McAfee on, that I do think Logan Paul does it better. Just my personal, it comes out looking cleaner than Adam Page's version. But you could see where AEW was going. Will Ospreay, like halfway into the match, you could tell it was literally going to be Hangman Adam Page. You could tell, you got a tip off on what they were going to do with this. Now, as far as Will Ospreay, where does he go from here? You got Forbidden Door coming up in his hometown. You got still All in Texas. We don't know what Will Ospreay is going to do at All in Texas. So we don't know. Maybe he factors into the match. Who knows? We got Darby Allin coming back from Mount Everest. So we got that factored in. So we'll see what they do going into All in Texas. I'm kind of intrigued. And another thing is we didn't have any debuts here. Usually you have a debut, usually at Double or Nothing. Usually you have like a Swerve Strickland that debuted a few years back. You have like a John Moxley. You know, you have something debut. I was surprised Tonka didn't show up from Stardom that recently just signed with AEW. No Camille. They didn't really give you any shakeups here. And the Mina Shirakawa match, I was really shocked they didn't have Mina win it. Like, if you were going to run it back with Mercedes Moné, what are you going to have Tony? So it's going to be title versus title, what it looks like. They're going to put both titles up, what it looks like. It's not just going to be for the women's championship. It's going to be title for a title. Watch what they're going to do with that. And if they give that to Moné, it tells me that Moné has got so much creative control, and I'm really getting kind of tired of it. Moné should have lost here. And I was really like blown away how they had Jamie Hayter lose. They played off the back. I can't believe they had Jamie Hayter take a loss. And it tells me they have no faith in Jamie Hayter at all. And Moné's got so much creative control. You could see it, obviously. There was a lot of creative control with her character, which I personally don't understand that. I don't get that logic. I don't. Like, Make it make sense to me. So I thought Mina Shirakawa was going to go in. They were going to run back Mercedes Moné, because when they had Mercedes Moné win earlier in the beginning, I was like, okay, they're going to have Mina Shirakawa. They're going to run back New Japan, and then they're going to have Mina take Ida Pin at All In, and they're going to make what's her name double champion, the whole siesta over in AEW, which, and if they do, I'm going to be disappointed with that. And it should be title versus title at All In. Maybe they do Moné doing double duty. Maybe that's what they're going to do and have Mina Shirakawa face her still. But yeah, when it comes to All In, man, like, to me, a little predictable. It was kind of predictable. Some of the things leading into that pay-per-view is a little predictable. But Jamie Hayter losing, I thought they were going to have Jamie Hayter win because she hasn't won in a minute. She's kind of in the Adam Page kind of, there. But, it is what it is. I guess AEW doesn't feel the way I feel. So, again, we had the buy-in. The buy-in was good. You had RJ City, Jeff Jarrett, and Renice Burkett. And they were announcing where matches were going to be throughout the night and where you can buy it. Again, Harley Cameron, Anna Jay versus Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. I thought they were going to have, to me, I feel like they're stifling Megan Bayne with Penelope Ford, because Penelope Ford, and I get they're protecting Megan Bayne, but Megan Bayne, I just don't get why they're paired, and Penelope Ford looks stupid. So they had Penelope Ford eat the pin. Harley Cameron and Anna Jay, I think it was like a final call, and 1, 2, and 3. It was like, what are we doing with Megan Bayne? Megan Bayne looked really, really stupid, personally. Now, that's the buy-in. And then we had a 6-man. Did we have like an 8-man tag? I think, yeah, it was an 8-man tag. After that, in the pre-show, yeah, it was RPG Vice, CRU, and then you had the Ring of Honor champion with AR Fox, and this was pretty much gimmicky and hokey and pokey. Again, you had the Ring of Honor champion Bandito AR Fox, and let Tim the Arias win from CMLL with Commander and all that. So I didn't really care for that match. I'm not going to go into the match. You already know I'm not a big fan of 8-man tags and stuff like that. I'm just not. I think those kind of things are a little hokey pokey and just filler. I kind of went to the bathroom, to be honest with you. They did get the victory. Bandito did get the victory out of it. I did see the ending of that. Now we get to the Double or Nothing. Mercedes Moné, I just feel like, since I heard she has creative control, I think she's booking herself to win here. It's like Jamie Hayter, everything that led up to Mercedes Moné in this match should have been Jamie Hayter. If you go by story and typical story, it should be Jamie Hayter. They played off the back. Jamie Hayter lost. It was like she was going for the Haterade, and then they turned it into like a DDT. It was like a botch spin DDT into a 1, 2, 3. It was a little bit hokey pokey, to be honest with you. But Mercedes Moné did get the win. It looks like she's booking herself to win everything. And I hope that's not the case. I hope she doesn't have a Kevin Nash kind of booking ability. Now, this is where I got interested in, was FTR versus Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness. Nigel McGuinness played off that he had bruised ribs, hurt ribs. I guess they did a shatter machine outside and he played it off. And then pretty much a scorpion deathlock, basically, for a good 10, 15, it felt like 10, 15 minutes. And Daniel Garcia passed out for FTR to win. FTR looks strong. FTR is better as heels, I think, which is going to set up for All In, where you're going to have Edge and Christian come in, and I think that's what they're going to do with that. But Daniel Garcia should be literally going up, not trending down. Daniel Garcia should be trending up, not trending down. No Orange Cassidy. We haven't seen Orange Cassidy in a minute. I'm shocked. No Orange Cassidy, no re-debut of Orange Cassidy. When they played the music for the Anarchy in the arena, no Danielson, maybe a sighting of Danielson. No nothing. No nothing like that. No Darby Allin here. No nothing. Darby Allin's been cleared to come back to wrestle and everything, so I don't understand. Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe. The stretcher match was kind of hokey pokey. I enjoyed it because I enjoy ECW type shit, and they did it here. Full bloody Mark Briscoe did lose, though, to Ricochet due to some type of like running lariat or run like a burning hammer type deal. And Ricochet put Mark Briscoe in there after 4 shots with the scissors. And you could see Mark Briscoe was literally, they kept cutting him. He kept cutting himself. What it looked like off to the side. They kept cutting the cameras back. But Ricochet did win that match. Ricochet's, I'm going to be honest about this. I'm really liking Ricochet's heel tactics. He reminds me of a lighter version of MJF. Let's keep it a buck with that. I feel like it's a lighter version of it. So there you go. So the Hurt Syndicate with MJF did win against Sammy Guevara, the Sons of Texas, because at the end, little fun of a match. And MJF did kind of fuck up a little bit. So it was a fun match. But again, I don't understand why MJF is in this group to begin with. It makes no sense. But it was a fun of a match. I do like the Hurt Syndicate. It looks like they're making the whole MJF thing work. AEW is. The Sons of Texas, you knew they were going to lose. They're ROH champions. I feel like All in Texas is going to be literally champion versus champion of products or different champions of things. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to have dual champions for things. But at the end, Sammy Guevara literally gets, I believe, let me read this, a step in the knee and in the corner and a thrust kick for the win by Benjamin. Pretty much Bobby Lashley runs out Dustin Rhodes literally through the barrier, all that stuff. And the Sons of Texas lose. Okada versus Speedball. So this match was literally match of the night for me. I felt they didn't overplay anything. I felt like they were doing their finishing moves back and forth. And I thought Okada did a good job. I thought Speedball did a good job. The only problem I had with this, Okada should have lost. Okada has done nothing for that Continental division. And it's been, I don't know who's buying the bitch thing. It's coming out hokey pokey. It just feels like he's got a Roman Reigns type hold of the title. And it makes no sense. I don't know what Tony Khan sees in Okada right now, but this is not the Okada I remember him to be in New Japan. I feel like they're treating him like a Shinsuke Nakamura. Okada can't speak good English. I don't know what they're doing with him, but that's just my personal opinion. Speedball should have won. They were going back and forth with finishers until a Rainmaker, when he went up on the rope, it was kind of amazing, and it turned into a glorified Rainmaker for a 1-2-3, which was pretty cool. Hopefully Speedball, this is not the last of him going for a title. Timeless Tony Storm with Luther versus Mina Shirakawa for the AEW women's title. So remember in articles and stuff that Tony Khan was really high up on Mina Shirakawa. Mina Shirakawa is going to be the chosen one down the line. So I don't think Mercedes Moné, if she does win it all in Texas, if that's where they're going with it, she's not going to hold the title for too long. She's going to lose one of them. They got to have her lose one of them. Or title versus title at All in Texas. But to me, this match, they played off the knee. They did a lot of things. Mina's the real deal, okay? Mina's the real deal, and the division's looking bright. They need to bring in Shida, and they need to bring in a few women's talents. But from what I was reading online, that they're in visa, working on the new rules and regulations of what this country just put out. So they're having to redo their visas and stuff like that. So there you go. So we're going to see Shida sooner than later. I think her, Riho, and a couple others, I think Tonka, are all trying to get their visas right. I know Tonka is signed with AEW, but it all comes down to visas and things like that for the United States. So we'll go through that. There was a couple back suplexes, almost a table spot. She tried to do the figure 4 on the ring pole, and that turned into, so basically as Storm 0 and 1, 2, 3 to retain. Anarchy in the arena. I thought it was cool. They played hit the drowning pool's bodies. I thought that was kind of cool after the final countdown stuff, and I'm so excited. I thought it was cool. I thought Death Riders, I felt that it was a little hokey pokey, the ending. Swerve Strickland with the thumbtacks, I thought was cool. They could have had this at the end, to be honest with you. So I felt this match was creatively cool and fun. There was a couple of spots like they did with Willow Nightingale's ear and a few other things. I'm not completely upset over the match. I'm not mad or anything like that. Like, take that out your mind. I just think it was a little above standard. And Kenny Omega trying to play his inner ECW Tommy Dreamer. I'm like, what are we doing? But this match ended up going to AEW, technically over the Death Riders. It went to Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Shibata and Willow Nightingale. One of the better Anarchy in the arena matches. I do like when they do them. It's kind of like a TLC match in a way. I think they're cool when they're cool. This one is going to go down as one of the better ones that they've done. There was a bottle spot with Willow Nightingale and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. I like these matches. It's typical AEW is what they're known for. You guys got to remember, AEW is for the hardcore, like old school hardcore fans, and that's what Tony Khan is. He's more of an ECW fan. You could totally tell by the way the match styles are. Let's see here. Now we had Paragon versus the Don Callis family. This match was a bummer. This was a low point of the night. I don't know why they put Paragon there. They cooled off the audience. Paragon should have just been a pre-show match, to be honest with you. They should have made it a third match in the pre-show. I don't know why it was here. The Don Callis family was always going to win this. The way they set it up. And now Kyle Fletcher's looking at Adam Cole. And they played off Kyle O'Reilly. They hurt his knee and they were playing off of it. And then you had Brody King, Tomo Ishii, Tamahashi, and, all this stuff setting up for Forbidden Door. So, I mean, we got some things set up and then we got some things not set up. So, it is what it is. And end of the day. But yeah, for the most part, like I said, this show was a good show. I thought it was better than Battlegrounds to a certain extent. Battlegrounds did certain things that were great. This show did certain things that were great, right? But when it comes down to a lot of this, I wasn't really happy with the Paragon match. I didn't really like the women's matches, period, point blank, period. I thought that they went the wrong direction. I feel like Moné's got full control of the women's division, which is not a good thing. I think they could have written it and scripted it a little bit better. And no debuts. We got to see no debuts. Double or Nothing is well known for signing somebody or bringing somebody in. Again, like I said, this is supposed to be their Royal Rumble, right? They're supposed to be surprises and cool things. They didn't do it here. And I honestly really felt that they could have done more for the price, what you're paying for on pay-per-view. But I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to compete with WWE. I felt they went overkill with the final match. I will still give them the better show, though, if you're going to compete between both. But that's not what you're here for. You're here to hear my review. If I had to give it a score, after seeing the main event and everything, I am going to go like this. I'm going to give them the same score I did Battlegrounds, because Battlegrounds, there were certain things that were good, and then there were certain things that were real bad. And then there were certain things with Double or Nothing that I went, okay, cool. And then overkill and long and drawn out. So at the end of the day, this show's just going to be a B+. I'm going to give it the same score, 8.75, because honestly, these two shows, there were some things they did, some things they did good. Both shows this weekend did good. Same with Saturday night's main event. I was plenty pleased with wrestling this weekend. I'm going to be tuning into NXT and TNA and everything this week to see what goes on. But for the most part, AEW, you got to stop these long shows and you got to stop these overkill main events. Like, you don't need to do 6 different finishers. I know Tony Khan likes that kind of shit. I don't like that kind of shit. We already knew when Adam Page went up to do that one move, we knew it was over at that point. You should have just let it go. And the fans were already going to be sent home happy either way. You know what I mean? If Will or Adam Page was going to win. So there you go. Anyway, my name's Rev Sauceline. Make sure to rate, like, and subscribe. Make sure to be following, liking on all my other video platforms. Once again, I'll see you guys on the next one. This show was good. Same with Battlegrounds. You may take it as I was negative about AEW. Look, I was negative about both shows to an extent, if you want to go there. But for the most part, this show was literally a B+. I wasn't mad. I just wish certain things they would tone down. Like, they don't need to. Like, I feel like they're watching the other pay-per-view and then they, like, are scripting on the fly or changing things as they go to make things bigger than they need to be. They don't need to make it bigger than it needs to be. Just they pretty much overkilled the grand finale because they needed to have 5-star match. Will Ospreay didn't need to do the guns pointed at him and do the V-trigger. They could have went home and called it a day and hugged it out and called it a day for respect, but it is what it is. Anyway, my name's Rev Sauceline. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.